Guys, Trick or Treat Studios has released their 2025 catalog. Let's take a look at it. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your favorite mask collector's favorite mask collector, AJ Good, here at the House of Masks, where we unbox and review cool stuff almost every single day. And well, it's that time of year again.
Time to say goodbye to another year.
Trick or Treat Studios has released their official 2025 catalog, and it's become something of a tradition around these parts to take a look at said catalogs for said year when they drop. So obviously, in today's video, we are going to be going through and taking our first look and giving our first thoughts on the Trick or Treat Studios 2025 catalog. Now, this came out yesterday, so I guess at the time that you guys are seeing this video, the catalog has officially been out for 2 days. I know I'm trying to get these out in a timely manner, but you know how it goes. Hectic times over here, which is why you need to become a patron. It's important, and you guys will see something incredibly insane happening to the House of Masks very, very soon, amongst all of the other perks. Anyways, I've tried to avoid seeing anything from this catalog on social media, although I did see that there is a Guar mask in this catalog, which we will obviously talk about a little bit later when we stumble across it in this catalog. But everything else that's in here is going to be news to me. Now, we know how Trick or Treat Studios catalogs work. There are going to be a lot of old releases in here, so we will just kind of brush over those. We really want to focus on the new releases for 2025. That's the point of a 2025 catalog, kind of getting us excited for what there will be to have very, very soon. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into this. We see a beautiful cover for this piece, by the way. It's got a very retro, vintage kind of 80s feel, obviously mimicking or doing some sort of play on the old video stores, a video rental store specifically, and I love this. I think that the colors look great. I love the fact that there is a wood panel wall. I had a lot of disdain for wood panel walls growing up because it made me feel poor. Pretty much anywhere I lived or anywhere that I went and was associated with had a wood panel wall, and I absolutely hated that. But growing up, I just love these things for nostalgia's sake. So we've got the top of a horror section there. You can see Army of Darkness. You can see Halloween, Hellraiser, and a few other classics. I really, really like the vibes that I'm getting from that. So kudos for having a beautiful cover on this 2025 catalog, Trick or Treat Studios. Now, let's go ahead and jump on into it. We see page number 1 is totally blank. Just kidding. That would be kind of cool if there was like a table of contents, but I guess this isn't a physical catalog, so that might not help us too much. Anyways, there is a wood panel wall on the first blank page. All right, all jokes aside, the first real page, we see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I don't know anything about. I wasn't a Teenage Mutant Ninja... Why am I saying teenage so weird? Teenage? I was not... Is something wrong with me? Am I having a medical emergency? Why can't I make words do good? Sounds make words real. Okay. I was not a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle kid growing up, but I know a lot of people that were, and this is obviously a very big deal for them. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle IP has to be worth a lot of money, so I am very curious to know how much money was tossed around for this deal, but I don't know anything about these things. I don't even know if those are going to be vinyl masks. They kind of look like they are vinyl. So yeah, I'm happy for everybody that's stoked about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That looks like a cool release. Everything on this page is new for 2025, but I don't know anything about it. So if you're here for a full general discussion on everything that this catalog is going to include, you probably came to the wrong video, because I'm really only going to specifically talk about the stuff that I truly love myself, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is not that. So, next page, more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Looks like all of those masks are also new for 2025. And it looks like they're also vinyl. I like that Trick or Treat Studios is bringing back vinyl. I know that I've touched on that a few times, specifically when they premiered those Goosebumps masks and when they released the Goosebumps masks which I do have a few of in my collection now. I absolutely love that. I think that vinyl is incredibly important in mask collecting. It gives a completely different look and feel to a mask, and I think that it kind of makes the masks worth more. Like, they're not going to rot. Latex rots. Trick or Treat Studios is a huge mass-produced mask company, so their latex specifically is going to be on the cheaper end, and you'll see masks that are only 2, 3, 4 years old already starting to rot. So I think that it's awesome that we are getting some vinyl releases in the year 2025 from a bigger company like Trick or Treat Studios, because those masks will have a way longer lifespan. And something that I never really thought of until I met somebody with a latex allergy is that people with latex allergies can't really collect most masks. Most masks are latex, so it just kind of includes some more people that maybe couldn't collect masks prior to that, so I think that's cool. Anyways, moving along, we have some Fallout releases on the third page there. Everything on that page says new for 2025, so I'm assuming that Trick or Treat just got the license for Fallout. I don't know much about video games, but I do know that Fallout is a big, big series. So I'm sure that some people out there are going to be stoked on that. Now, moving along, here we have that guar piece that I mentioned in the introduction for this video. It is an odorous piece. It says retro odorous, and I kind of don't understand this release. I can't even tell if that's like a plastic vacuum formed mask. It definitely looks like it's a vacuum formed mask, and maybe with the fact that it says retro, that's kind of insinuating that it is a retro style mask, which would be a plastic vacuum formed mask similar to like Ben Cooper pieces from way back in the day. And I'm not sure why this is. You know, I think we were kind of all excited and hoping for some real mold pieces from the Slave Pit, something a little more true to guar, but we got this, and maybe that's just them dipping their toes in the water to see how the guar stuff is going to do. However, if I didn't think that it would help us get real mold stuff in the future with Trick or Treat Studios, I probably wouldn't buy that piece. I'm sure that it's going to be cheap, and it will be a piece for the collection nonetheless, but it's just not my style of guar, if that makes any sense. But I don't know, maybe there is just a little bit more going on behind the scenes and they weren't able to make a deal on some of the real mold stuff. I know that guar is pretty protective over its IP, so I don't know if they just weren't able to work that out, or if because they've never worked with guar and this is their first time messing with that license, they're just not sure how successful that's going to be and they don't want to invest a whole bunch of money right off the rip. That's obviously a pretty smart decision on their end. So if we buy these, if the guar stuff does well, next year's catalog, we will see some real mold guar stuff. Imagine being able to purchase a real mold ball sack the Jaws of Death for like $500. That would just be absolutely incredible, and I really hope that that is the case. As for this little plastic piece, it's not the coolest thing I've ever seen, but we are seeing guar a little further into the mainstream, so I've got to applaud Tots and guar for this. I think that it's super, super cool to see, and I'm definitely excited for these to do well. Guys, go out and buy some Tots guar stuff so that we can see what happens in the future. Now, moving along, we've got some more new releases for 2025. We've got Beavis and Butthead, which is absolutely awesome.
That's incredible. This is the coolest thing I have ever seen.
I think these probably should have come out a couple years ago when the new series came out and was doing really well, but licensing and stuff takes time. I don't know, but I think it's cool nonetheless. I'm a huge Beavis and Butthead fan. I actually have Beavis and Butthead tattoos, so hell yeah, rad. We've got the Goon. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's from. It just says the Goon. It doesn't say that it's from like Scooby-Doo or anything, but that definitely looks like a Scooby-Doo character. I've seen that a million times, but I don't know what the Goon is. Next to the Goon, another new release is Bozo, and that thing is fucking rad. It is a retro Bozo, so I assume that that means that it is a plastic vacuum formed piece. I would love to see one of the old school vinyl Bozos. I think that that would be awesome, but right now we've got this retro Bozo. And then on the next page, we have the Ghostbusters, and it looks like the only new Ghostbusters piece is going to be the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man toasted version. Okie dokie. Next, dang, look at that freaking Slimer wall mount light thing. That is actually really fucking cool. I'm going to probably have to end up picking that up. I think that that is awesome. I wonder how big that is. I wish that it would tell you, like, sort of a size on that, but regardless, I mean, whether it's this big or life-sized, That's super, super cool. That thing rips. So definitely have to pick that up. Goosebumps on the next page. Those are the masks that I was talking about earlier when we were discussing vinyl masks and releases from last year. I actually have all of these right now, but at the time that you're seeing this video, I've only done a video on these three, the Haunted Mask, Curly, and the Mummy. I had to buy the Slappy and the Mud Monster separate, and they are here right now. The video just isn't out yet, unless you're a patron, of course. Then we've got the old classic Trick or Treat Studios Goosebumps releases, the Haunted Mask 2, the Jack-o'-lantern from Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns, and both of these plastic vacuum formed pieces. These were all from the original Trick or Treat Studios Goosebumps run, so those are all OG releases, and we still have them. I would love to see an updated Haunted Mask. I have never really thought that Haunted Mask was great. I think that they could definitely upgrade the teeth and the paintwork and get something a little bit closer to the TV series. I do love the Haunted Mask 2 that they released. I think that's great. I've never owned the Jack-o'-lantern, so I can't say much about that. I don't really like the design or care for the book too much, so it is what it is. I'm sure that it's accurate because Goosebumps and Trick or Treat Studios have kind of always been killing it together. So I'm sure that wasn't a miss. I don't know too much about it, and I've never owned one. It looks like the only new release is going to be the Welcome to Horrorland wood sign, and I'm kind of curious how big that will be. It'd be cool if they released like the true sign. That just looks like the design that's on the sign from the book cover, not the sign itself, if that makes any sense. But yeah, dude, we got some good Goosebumps stuff out of Trick or Treat Studios with those vinyl masks from the first page, so I can't complain. Those were my favorite Trick or Treat Studios releases in a long time. So yeah, moving on, Thanksgiving, we've seen that, Twisted Metal, we got the Halloween stuff, which I assume most of this is going to be old. I don't see any new for 2025 except for on the animatronic, which looks okay. The hands look really good on that. I'm kind of curious to see what those hands will look like in real life. But you can fix the rest or upgrade the rest, I guess. You can always kind of stuff that body to make it look a little more realistic. You can obviously weather up the coveralls and the mask and kind of get a better, truer Myers look on there. And animatronics kind of always suck with the hands. So if they've nailed the hands, that might be a really cool release. Next page, more Myers stuff that we've seen. Again, I'm not going to focus too much on stuff that we've seen, and there's not a lot of new releases that I've seen in this catalog so far. It looks like the Asylum mask from the Rob Zombie's Halloween is a new release. That'll be cool to see. Kind of curious what they're going to make that out of. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Happy 50th anniversary, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I should be shooting something with Texas Chainsaw Massacre official here very soon. I've been in contact with them. They reached out to me to do a video on a box that they're sending, so that'll be cool. That chainsaw accessory looks weird to me. Like, it's just thin, and then you see like the true chainsaw prop right under it, and it just looks like that has been cut into a third of the size or a quarter of the size, I guess. I don't know. That's kind of weird. They do have a 30-inch plush chainsaw, which is kind of sick. I think my new autism from 2024, my new thing was plushies. So I've got like a couch full of just little pillow characters in there for some reason. I don't know where that came from, but plushies and snow globes. 2024, I just started collecting those like crazy. So that's actually kind of sick. I would probably pick that up. We've got Retro Killing Mask and Retro Pretty Woman, which I assume, again, are plastic vacuum formed masks. Those have to just be like economy masks, essentially, because you've got the real deal Killing Mask done by Connor with the real hair and stuff right next to it. And those really aren't too expensive anymore. They've been out for so long that you can find them secondhand all day for $20-30. So kind of curious to see if they do anything cool with the retro Leatherface masks there with the packaging. The masks themselves look okay. I would probably cut the hair off, at least the Pretty Woman, and you could do some cool stuff with the mask, but just not a fan of like sculpted in, molded in hair. Never been a fan. So those are the new releases for TCM. It also looks like they are putting out a full Pretty Woman costume with the mask. Always good to see nubbins. Love seeing Nubbins. I'm glad that they brought him back and that I was able to grab one. Skipping forward, Beetlejuice has the Beetlejuice snake as a puppet. Be cool to see the return of some puppets. You know, like we've got the Distortions Unlimited beheaded puppets. We got the Beheaded Illusion Zombie, the Fresh Death, and then like Don Post did their own versions of the Distortions Beheaded Illusions stuff, and we don't see those anymore. So it'd be kind of cool to see those things make a comeback, and that might be like foreshadowing for what is to come. I don't know. Skipping forward, The Goonies, Mortal Kombat, The Exorcist, The Conjuring. I don't really care about any of that stuff. We got the old Freddy stuff. It does look like that they have added a new Freddy piece. It's an old Elusive Concept sculpt from New Nightmare. So that's kind of cool. And also recently I just saw one of the re-releases of the Elusive Concepts, Jason Goes to Hell. Saw one in real life in Boston a few weeks ago, and I thought that was kind of cool because I had an OG. I had the Elusive Concepts release way back in the day. It sadly has deteriorated and turned into nothing, so good to see that make a return. Actually, you know what? I might still have one. I do! I have one in my Buckethead collection. I forgot about that guy. He's up there and he still looks like he's doing okay, so maybe that's why I'm so attached to that piece and think that it's so cool to see a return. Moving on, Corpse Bride, Gremlins, nothing new. Gremlins 2, nothing new. Scooby-Doo, nothing new. Actually, that's a lie. There is a new villain. There's a tiki mask on there, but that looks like the only new release for Scooby-Doo. I need to pick some of those up. I think when they released that license, I talked about picking stuff up. The Frankenstein is just so cool. I think on the next page, it'll probably show Charlie the Robot. He's awesome. And I never did pick any of those up, so I'm going to have to do that soon. Then we've got The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, not my thing. We've got House of the Dragon, I don't know what that is. Game of Thrones, I don't know what that is, but their fonts look the same, so I'm assuming that House of the Dragon is some sort of spin-off of Game of Thrones. Thundercats, some Christmassy stuff. Toxic Crusaders, Toxic Avenger, The Return of the Living Dead, that looks cool. Those are old releases? I wonder why I don't remember those. Ooh, Terrifier, get that off my screen. We got some Crow stuff, Nightbreed, The Shining. Why does that look like Tim Robinson as Jack Torrance? Like, that looks like Tim Robinson in some sort of Shining parody from I Think You Should Leave or something. That is so weird. God, that really looks like, that is so fucking weird. Anyways, we got some Shining stuff. We've got A Clockwork Orange, Phantasm, Carrie, Haunt. Those ones are cool. I've had those for a while. We got Dawn of the Dead. None of these are new releases. I will say that I think that Roger Pillow Pal is actually an old Cinema Secrets piece because I had one in the casket that we turned into my casket and put in the window. I had the old Cinema Secrets version, and I've also seen some vintage versions at places like Foy's up in Dayton. So, kind of cool that is what that is. I mean, it could be a different sculpt, but it really looks like the old Cinema Secrets piece. And also, it is like the Pillow Pal version, which is what I had in that casket and what I saw for sale up there. It's kind of weird that they wouldn't slap the old Cinema Secrets logo on there like a throwback like they did with the Elusive Concept stuff, but maybe there's a reason for that. Maniac Cop, just a bunch of random stuff. Sinister, Zombie, like old releases. We got the Saw stuff, which I never looked at how different the deluxe Billy the Puppet and the regular Billy the Puppet look. Like, the deluxe one looks amazing, and the old original doesn't look bad until you stop and look at the shoulders. He kind of looks like H4 Myers or like Batman, like with the shoulder pads or something. Kind of weird, but whatever. I wish that the deluxe version was deluxe because it featured sound and motion and that they both looked the same. You could have essentially a static version that looked like the deluxe version, and then with the deluxe one you were just paying for the sound and motion, because I wouldn't want sound and motion and I would pick up another one of these Billy puppets just because it looked that good. We got some vacuum formed masks there. I don't really understand the market of buying masks of things that aren't masks. Does that make sense? Like, Billy the Puppet was a little puppet. You shouldn't be able to be him. I don't know. That's just like the super mega autistic mask collector in me. More old Saw stuff, Spiral, The Strangers. Those all say new for 2025 for some reason, but they definitely aren't. Like, we've had those in the past. So that's weird. Maybe it's just because they brought them back. Evil Dead 2, Krampus, Trick or Treat, Sleepy Hollow. I don't know what that is. Twilight Zone. Just a bunch of old releases. We got Army of Darkness. That Ash looks really good, actually. I wonder what that's going to look like in real life. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Shorty, Slim, and Rudy all say new for 2025, but I don't think they are they? There have definitely been official Trick or Treat Studios Killer Clown masks. Did they just not do those characters? That's interesting. Okay. Slim, Shorty. They're just different sculpts, different versions. Like, this Shorty doesn't have a neck, and this Shorty does, and this Slim back here doesn't have a neck. That's definitely a different sculpt on that Slim, for sure. Interesting. Very strange. Fatso, Clownzilla, and then the costumes there are all old releases as well. Ghoulies, Hellraiser, Motel Hell, just some random stuff. Nothing really new. King Diamond looks interesting. Very, very cake-like King Diamond. Iron Maiden, get Ghost off my screen right now. I got some Rob Zombie stuff, the Mabry's Monsters releases. So most of the stuff now is old, which I guess makes sense because we're getting towards the back of the book here. They do have a new Don Post Medusa in here, which is awesome because from what I understand, that gold paint that Don Post used on those old gold pieces absolutely obliterated those pieces. So the paint literally ate itself. Like, it would eat the latex under the mask and you would be left with a very quickly rotting pile of goo. And I'm pretty sure that those Medusas were used in Halloween 3, so that'll make some Halloween 3 collectors very happy. We got the Glowing Ghoul Don Post pieces, more Don Post pieces. That Tor Johnson looks awesome. That is new for 2025 as well. Very cool. The Season of the Witch stuff. Some Elusive Concepts originals there. Very cool. And then the Trick or Treat Studios originals, which I don't see any. I guess the Hemlock there is the new release, but the rest of these are older releases, and they've been using a lot of these for a long time. Like, Connor Circus Clown probably came out 10 years ago. It probably was 2015 when Connor released that, so, as well as the Old Clown and the Old Man there. Interesting. We got Teeth, we got Gift Wrap, which we know why they're doing that, and you know what? Props to Trick or Treat Studios. Make that motherfucking money, dude. As long as you guys keep giving us legit collectors cool, cheap releases and bringing cool things into the mainstream, you just sell all the gift wrap you guys want. Do it to it. Werepups Ultimate Sam doll looks cool. That's new. That's interesting. I wonder if that's going to come with a hood as well. It doesn't say that it does, so maybe not, but if it's life-size, you might be able to just throw one of the Trick or Treat Studios masks over it. Regardless, looks awesome. Can't wait to see that in real life. We got some figures. Billy and the Tricycle, but it's 1/6 scale, so I guess that's a figure too. A couple new releases for... Well, only one new release for Halloween. It's the Rob Zombies Myers as a figure. More new Killer Clowns figures. More NECA-sized figures, I assume. Yeah, because I bought this Myers in Boston a few weeks ago. It's really, really well done. So shout out to Tots for that one. Very cool. So they're going to release a Rob Zombies version as well this year. Very cool. Then we got some good shit right here on the same page. We got the Goosebumps figure releases and the Guar figure releases, which is awesome. And I love what they did with the Guar stuff here because it's old and new. Like, these are very figure-esque. They look like Guar artwork rather than true to scale Guar pieces. And with the old, we still got some new. Like, we got Blothar, but we also got the build, the Odorous, when you collect all of the parts from the other pieces there. So I absolutely love that. I also love the Goosebumps figures because not only did they pick really cool pieces to do, like the characters that they chose from are awesome. Great to see the Mudman getting some love. I love the fact that Slappy is the size of a puppet in relation to all the other things like Curly and the Scarecrow and the Mummy. Carly Beth is a kid-sized thing. So that's awesome. I love that. And we have seen the boxes. So we've seen the packaging now, and the packaging looks absolutely awesome. Trick or Treat Studios just did the damn thing. They did it right with these figures, and I can't wait for those to come out. Same thing with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre ones. Like, how cool is it that we're going to be able to have a full dinner scene? That's amazing. We got all those gross little details on the dinner table, as well as every person from that scene. We got Grandpa, we've got the hitchhiker, we've got Leatherface and his pretty woman. That's amazing. I'm super stoked on that one. So we got to be getting close to the end of the booklet here, right? Some more figures, enamel pins. We got some smell good rear view mirror things. Stickers, old school decorations. What are these Goosebumps books? What are those? Are they magnets? They must be magnets. They're on the page with some other magnets, but they don't say what they are. Like Trick or Treat Sam magnet, 78 poster magnet, Evil Ash magnet, and then down here there's no description as to what those are. That's interesting. Oh well. Purses, Trick or Treat Studios games, some puzzles. Those all look like new releases except for Leatherface and the Wolfman. So I think that's it. That's the end of the catalog there. Cool. That was a nice little selection there. The new releases that we got were really good new releases, and it looks like they kept a lot of the great classics that we're kind of just not quite done with yet. So I would say that I'd be way more excited for this catalog if I hadn't known a lot of the things that I would be into were already going to be in here, like the Goosebumps stuff, the Guar stuff, things of that nature. That's kind of the only reason that I wasn't like freaking out while going through this. If I had no idea that they were going to be releasing those Goosebumps figures, then I would have been like, holy shit, those look amazing. And same thing with the Guar figures and whatnot. So yeah, dude, shout out to Tots. Once again, they did it. I'm sure that I probably said something in here that wasn't all the way positive, and they're going to just refuse to work with me for the rest of my life still, for whatever fucking reason. But I'm really impressed. Again, another great catalog, another great selection of items being brought to the mainstream and being made affordable for casual collectors and true collectors all the same. Love to see it, and I'm excited to see where certain releases in this catalog take those brands and those bands and those IPs in the future with Trick or Treat Studios, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, dude, let me know down below your favorite release in this catalog. And it has to be a 2025 release. Don't go pick something that's old. It's got to be a new for 2025 item. I will go ahead and say the Goosebumps stuff is my favorite. The Guar stuff closely coming in second place there, and that's only because I have seen the packaging for those Goosebumps figures, and I've not seen it for the Guar figures. I'm sure that once we see the packaging for the Guar figures, it's going to be tied up, but I'm really in a Goosebumps mood, and I'm pretty stoked on Goosebumps stuff right now. Even the new series isn't awful. Like, it's not great, but it's not awful. So I'm in a Goosebumps mood, and Trick or Treat Studios is putting out the right type of Goosebumps stuff right now, so that is my answer. Let me know what your guys' favorite 2025 release out of this catalog is down in the comments. I'll meet you down there. We will have a general discussion. I'm excited to see if anybody picked any of the stuff as their favorite that I just kind of glazed over, gazed over, whatever the right word is there. I'm no good at this. I think it'd be really interesting if somebody was like, actually, my favorite release is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or is the Sleepy Hollow stuff. So yeah, dude, let me know. I'll meet you down there. I'm looking forward to it. And as for this video, we are out of here. So thank you guys for watching. I definitely appreciate you being here. And until next time, this has been AJ Good here at the House of Masks telling you to say no to drugs and alcohol and yes to Trick or Treat Studios. And we will see you in the next one. Bye!